All praise, glory, and honor be to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kwakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. And salutations to the Akim doing the work on the highways and hedges. You know, and making edifying videos. You know, I just accidentally deleted this video, so I gotta do it over again. And with that, I want to start off at Joel chapter 2. And I'm going to start at verse 28. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. The servants being the servants of Israel, the prophets of Israel. You know, the Lord is putting His spirit in the earth right now where people having dreams, and not just dreams, visions, like back to back, about these end times that we're walking into right now. All right. With that, let me just get this.
Paratrooping, parachuting onto the streets. You know.
So, but as a watchman, I have to come out and I have to say what I did see.
The dream started where the other one left off. In this dream, in the next dream, dream number 2, I'm over in the northern part of Los Angeles, what they call the San Fernando Valley, and that's where you have like your suburbs and your neighborhoods and whatnot. What I saw was chaos. People running around, citizens, Angelinos, if you will, running around everywhere, all over, crying, screaming, in total panic like I've never seen in my life, not even in the movies. And there were soldiers. They were paratrooping, parachuting onto the streets. They were running around everywhere. It seems like the whole place had been invaded. And like I said, I couldn't tell you what the uniforms were for some reason. I couldn't even tell you the nationality of the foreign troops that invaded. But for some reason, in my heart, I believed it was like Chinese and Russian troops. But then once again, for some reason, I was in doubt. I doubted myself. I doubted the Lord. I thought, man, maybe that's crazy. I'm just a regular guy. And I said, well, Lord, if this is real, if this is totally real, give me one more dream and I'll believe it, Lord. And I fell asleep while I was saying that. And lo and behold, a third dream in a row about pretty much exactly the same thing. And in this third dream, it showed it was more like it was more chaotic, more destruction had occurred, and it seemed like this kept going on and on. It wasn't a one-day thing. And people were running around, and now people are in hiding and stuff like that. Everybody was shocked. That's what the biggest feeling was shocked. No one could believe that this was actually happening, that this was happening to us, because we've never really been attacked except for the Alamo, Pearl Harbor, that sort of thing. And of course 9/11. But nothing like this magnitude, where there's troops running around like this magnitude. I was just shocked when I woke up, and I knew.
Let's go to 2 Ezra chapter 15. Starting at verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men. Let's see what sedition means. Because people read the Bible without even knowing what these words mean. I used to be one of those people. You always get lost in that. Blessed is he that readeth, and study to show yourself approved. You got to do some studying, man. You got to look up the meaning of words as told to us by elders and apostles, of the great millstone. That's what you have to do to get the insight of what Yahweh Shema Shah is telling us.
Sedition.
Conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarchy.
Sedition.
And that's what's happening, or mainly what he's describing in his dream. There shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. All right? Using the same trick, using the same defense system as Esau Edom. Weapons of destruction. Guns, swords, knives, bombs, so on and so forth.
I knew it was just like the other dreams were. It just seemed so real. And this time I didn't really pray and say, "Oh well, Lord, give me another dream or whatever." But I thought in the fourth dream, it was more of the same, and it showed people in their homes, and they're in their homes and they're trying to hide. Everyone's trying to hide by now, and more troops are coming in. Foreign troops invading more and more and more.
With that, let's get Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, invading homes. As written, I believe that's in the second Esdras. Matter of fact, let me just get it. Yep. Chapter 16, verse 73. Then no, I gotta go up to 72. No, 71. Second Esdras chapter 16, verse 71. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. That's the elect of Israel. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall it be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Some might escape into the woods. Some might be caught up by the FEMA camps or whatever camp they got going on that day and time when those troops come in. Sedition amongst men. Look, over there in the other land, in the East lands, they're getting prepared for all this. They've been reading this for century upon century upon century, and since the prophets been out there on highways and hedges, speaking this truth and the internet coming up, Esau know what time it is, And just like when they knew that Israel was weak and that our power had hid its face from us, they reading what's going to happen to America and listening to the prophets on the highways and hedges, telling them what's about to happen to America. So now they going with their move. The same way our enemies went up against us, pursuing the Psalm chapter 83, that the name of Israel be no more in the land. Matter of fact, speaking on that, let me go to this. I got a precept in Revelation chapter 11. Yeah. Revelation chapter 11, verse 18. And the nations were angry. Russia, China, the BRICS nations, if that's what you want to call them. And thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldst give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and unto thy saints, and to the saints, and them that fear the name, fear thy name, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, small and great, you know, from all walks of life, from all walks of life. You know, the Spirit of the Lord has been put out into the earth upon all flesh, and he's dealing. And should have destroyed them which destroyed the earth, starting over here in America, with all their embassies, military might. Esau Edom, first and foremost, with his sword, destroying the earth, not keeping the commandments. You know, being that vessel fitted for wrath, destruction. You know, they destroyed the earth. Chemtrails, you know, poisoning the waters. You know, get all these shipments going overseas, oil spills, gas into the, you know, gasoline, you know, and fumes, you know, in the atmosphere. I mean, you can go on and on, back to back, just to describe all the horrendous ways that the so-called leaders of this world at this point in time has destroyed the earth. All right, you can catch that in Revelation chapter 11, verse 18.
It's a total invasion of the United States. The skies were filled with planes. Bombs were dropping. It was a total surprise attack. So it was more of the same on that dream. I could see the intensity of the plan of the attack, and it was a well-planned attack. I mean, we were overwhelmed, and it was evident that the United States was falling. That was a thing in the dream, and it was evident that this was the end times.
In my dream, we were actually in Hilton Head. We were not in Orange Beach. We were in Hilton Head, and my family was there. My mom and dad, my sisters, and my husband and my kids. And we were out on the beach, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, bombs started dropping all around us, and mass chaos ensued, as you would expect. Everybody freaking out, and we couldn't figure out exactly who was responsible for dropping the bombs, but we knew that it was from somewhere over in the east. It was either China or Russia. We just had this sense that the east is attacking the west. And so we mass chaos, everybody screaming things, like the bombs were hitting the sand and just exploding and exploding and exploding, and it wouldn't stop. And so we all ran to our cars, and we were trying to get out of the area, and all of the roads started shutting down.
This is my first.
Let me stop right there. With that, I want to go into 2nd Ezra chapter 15. All the roads started shutting down. I'm going to start at verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men. Let's see what that word sedition means.
Sedition.
Conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. Rebel rousing, agitation, troublemaking, rioting, mutiny, rebellion. All right? Civil disorder, disobedience. And when you fight against the system, that the Lord has made up, He controls all things, right? Let me see, matter of fact, let me see if I can get that. Let's see if I can find that. I'm about to mess it up. I already know it. Salakia. Forget it. Don't let me get, I'm not gonna get into it. You know. Second Ezra 15 and 16 again. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and they shall stand in their power. Verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right. The shutdown is coming up, and a lot of people don't see it. You know, it is what it is. A lot of people don't see it. They think that this world is gonna keep on going on the way it's going. Matter of fact, they think it's gonna return back to what it was before 2000, and 20, and they think it's gonna get better. You know, they have been blinded. With that, I want to get 2 Corinthians chapter 5, starting at verse 7. For we walk by faith, not by sight. We are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord, Yahweh Shai. Wherefore we labor, that whether present or absent, we may be accepted of him. That's why we labor, on a daily basis, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, to, reverence the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, to keep faith in our Savior Yahweh Shai, because he's the only one, that's the only mediator for the children of Israel, the elect of Israel. You can't get to the Father but through him. He is the door. And it's not in that fake Christian, stance where, just believe in my name, believe in my word. He's the light, the truth, and the way. That mean, trying to get to that gate, it's a narrow path. And he's the example. Putting off the ways of this world. With that, I'm gonna leave it off on there. I don't even know what I'm gonna call this, but with that, let's just give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Kwakadash, and double honor to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. I'm gonna just start trying to do more less time consuming lessons. And hopefully the elect is edified. With that, I'm gonna say Kwam Yasharala, Wa Baba Ball. Until next time, endure. Yahweh Yahweh Shabbat Zah.